Good afternoon, and thank you, Tom and John, for the opportunity to be here this afternoon. And ITLG is such an important partner of our city. We are so excited to see it grow and succeed. I think as leaders, we all face a really urgent task now, and that is to reignite growth in our economies. Whether you care about the future of your company or your community or your nation, we all need to spur faster GDP growth and create jobs. And we cannot achieve this goal without much more rapid rates of innovation and entrepreneurship. So this is a critically important topic, not just for each of us and our own interests, but I think for our nations and for the global economy. So I was asked to share a few thoughts in three areas. One is, what is really special about Silicon Valley's environment for innovation and entrepreneurship today? What is the city's role in supporting innovation and entrepreneurship? And then I want to end by saying a few words about the special continuing relationship between Dublin and San Jose. And I want to say up front, my remarks are intended to hopefully be helpful in thinking about how to make Dublin and Ireland economically successful. But I also hope to interest you in participating one way or another in Silicon Valley and in San Jose as your companies become successful. So first of all, what is special about Silicon Valley today? I think there's three factors, and much has been written about this topic, but I think this is my deep personal view as somebody who has worked for 20 years with Silicon Valley's business and civic leadership. The first one, I think Kingsley just nailed it. It's globally connected talent. It's very clear that Silicon Valley has benefited from entrepreneurial people from all around the United States and all around the world. And this community has been remarkably open and welcoming of people from other places, I think going back to the 19th century agricultural era that Tom mentioned. So today, San Jose is the most international city in America, and I would say in the world. 40% of the people in San Jose were born in another country. 40%. 10% of the people who live in our community have arrived in the United States since 2000. So 10% are very new immigrants. And we are a very intercultural, interracial community, 1/3 Asian, 1/3 Latino, 1/3 Anglo. And immigrant entrepreneurs and technologists and foreign nationals who come and just stay for a little while contribute very significantly to innovation. Over 50% of the engineers, technologists, and founders of technology companies were born in another country. And I remember interviewing several years ago the founders of a company that did very well and was acquired by Cisco. One Indian and one Chinese man founded those companies. And the Chinese man said, "You know why I'm here? I've lived in Shanghai, Singapore, London, and I have to say, this is the only place where I have not felt like a foreigner, where I felt like I could come in and work my passion and do my thing and be very, very welcome." So I think what's powerful is clearly these international connections, two-way back and flow ideas, capital, trade, back and forth to home countries, but also people in our community who are good at managing across cultures, across borders, and across time zones. And I think that's a very, very unique and important niche. Second key factor, catalytic interactions and collisions. So in one geographic area, you have companies of all sizes and stages of development, startups, scaling companies, large industry giants regularly feeding off each other. I think there's a constant search for that win-win exchange, sharing knowledge, looking for mutually beneficial outcomes. And it's a business environment that I think is truly based on open innovation. Ideas can come from anywhere and do, especially outside an individual company's walls. You see, for example, contract manufacturers very, very involved with their clients in new product introduction and commercialization. And you see every day how the innovation actually happens at the convergence or the intersection of disciplines. And of course, I think you know there's this whole infrastructure there of people who love to start companies and make those catalytic interactions happen. The third key factor, I think, is the cultural tolerance for creative destruction. Silicon Valley is unique. That was a phrase coined by Austrian economist Joseph Schumpeter in the 19th century, but it describes that process of economic innovation, successive waves of innovation where entrepreneurs pursue and take advantage of the next big opportunity and reshuffle resources to go on to the next thing. So in Silicon Valley, you've seen these layers of waves of innovation, of defense electronics, integrated circuits, PCs, networking, internet, mobile internet, social media, clean tech. The challenge, of course, is that you can't have it both ways. You can't have the creative without the destruction. So in our community, we have very, very high rates of startup, but very, very high rates of failure, and that goes in hand. But that's really a secret to our success. And I don't want to over-romanticize. This is very difficult. When you have these innovation-based cycles, they're difficult to navigate for individuals and community organizations and governments and companies. But they are what make us successful, is being able to ride those successive waves of innovation. So I want to share a quote from Tom Friedman that I think summarizes what's driving wealth creation today in regions. The three factors at play. He said, first, you build this really flexible, really open economy. Then you tolerate creative destruction so that dead capital is quickly deployed to better ideas and companies. You pour into it the most diverse, smart, and energetic immigrants from every corner of the world, and then you stir and repeat. Stir and repeat. Stir and repeat. So it's about the ingredients as well as the recipe. So what is our city's role? We're obviously very lucky to be in the middle of this incredible habitat. And we're very aware of where our job growth comes from. So we've tracked it for 20 years. In Silicon Valley, 40% of the job growth comes from the startup of new companies, 55% from expansions of companies that are already in our area, and only 5% from others moving in. So it's truly an indigenously grown economy. As a city, we have a simple interest, and our interest allies with the ITLG. We want to help companies get a smart start. We want to help you plug easily into networks, and we want to help you scale your operations as quickly as possible. And even in a place as business-driven as Silicon Valley, our city has learned there's an appropriate role for government. So we'll help you find facilities, the right space. We have incentives and special programs that can save you time and money, like our enterprise zone, our foreign trade zone, our special tenant improvement program, which gets you permits at the speed of business. And of course, we help make introductions and build bridges. And especially in clean tech, we have very, very progressive policies to support field trials of new clean technologies on city facilities and lands. So last, I want to say that our city's relationship with Dublin, forged 25 years ago by Mayor Tom McHenry, was a very early example of connecting local networks across nations in order to spur investment and innovation. And this is a very exciting idea that has clearly withstood the test of time. So I commend the ITLG for now taking this concept of cross-regional alliances to another, more important and powerful level. So ITLG now is a platform where we can work our international professional relationships and help together reignite growth in our economies. So I really urge you all to work together, and I think that by aligning our interests through organizations like ITLG, we can all advance our own specific interests while advancing the common good for our respective communities and countries. So I look forward to tracking the success of Irish companies and hopefully welcoming many of you to San Jose and Silicon Valley over the next several years. Thank you.